Hey, what's up, gamers? Welcome back to LTR Gaming, and I'm Troy. So, man, a lot to get into, a lot to unbox, and as a gamer, I am just so surprised compared to the last video that I did in reference to how I felt about Microsoft. They are completely hitting the ground running, and I have to own up to that, and I have to acknowledge that, because they have their foot on Sony's neck, and it doesn't look like Microsoft is letting their foot off their neck anytime soon. And it's a complete changing of the guard. And listen, maybe I'm very impatient, and I've been told that I can be very impatient in some things, in some aspects. And you know, the purchasing of all these studios, and you know, Phil Spencer, every time I hear Phil Spencer, he's talking about he's acquiring this, they acquire that, this is what he's trying to do. But with the existence of Game Pass and what it's been able to do for the Microsoft brand, and the games that they're constantly putting on there, and the fact that the Bethesda acquisition has finally gone through and it's legit, and they just released a whole bunch of Bethesda games recently on Game Pass, and now the new game that's going to be coming to us within a month, Outriders, is going to be on Game Pass day one for free if you are a Game Pass subscriber. It's crazy. And it's crazy because it's for both platforms. But for Sony players or exclusive console owners, you're going to have to pay the full $60 to play Outriders. And that's just one small caveat, but it's a very, very big deal, because Microsoft is leveraging their power. And listen, Microsoft is a very large company. It's a behemoth of a brand. They have billions of dollars. Like, Sony can't even compete with the purchasing power. And not that that matters, but it seems now Microsoft is flexing their might and flexing and showing what they can actually do. And I just don't know if Sony could recover. Like what Sony's offering with their PlayStation Plus and the games that they're giving out, it's cool. I'm not going to front. The extra games that they're giving out, I believe this month they're going to be giving out 10 games, several of them VR games, etc. The PlayStation 4 games, the backwards compatibility. I recently got a PS5, as you guys already know if you've been watching my channel, and it's cool. But the slither of games that you can play on the Game Pass side of things is just ridiculous. I mean, from going back to Xbox, to the original Xbox, on up until the Xbox Series X, catalog wise, you can't even compete. Sony cannot compete with the options and the amount of games available to gamers. And listen, man, they're going to have to come out the gate swinging, because this generation, the place to play so far, it looks like it's going to be with Microsoft. If you're looking to have the options to play whatever you want to play, and the ability to choose several different type of titles, RPGs, shooters, racers, simulations, Microsoft, it seems like they have you covered. And I'm looking for Sony to fight back, and I'm not seeing it yet. And listen, we're still technically in year one of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. They just came out last holiday season. So we haven't even had a full year of having these consoles on the market. You know, the developers are still developing and trying to figure out, you know, how to develop games for it. We already know how this goes. Every time there's a new console that comes out, that we always got to give the developers at least 2 to 3 years to really get a handle on what the operating system is and what they can and can't do, and then they start chugging out the games and start creating titles that we're like, wow, that's a great title, that's a great game. I didn't believe that we can play a game that's so fabulous. But in the meantime, there hasn't been a lot of exclusive games that's been rolling out for either brand. But Game Pass has surely done more than enough to hold us over until those titles come out for Xbox. And the acquisitions of buying studios here, buying studios there, you know, those games are being made and they're going to be coming at some point in time in the pipeline. And I'm like, yo, what is Sony going to really do here? Like, what can they do? You're going to have to make a similar service that's going to be able to legitimately compete with what Microsoft is actually doing. And you might say, well, they're going to have to copy or mimic them, but so be it. I don't think that's a bad thing. Giving the consumers options. Tell me your choices and I'll tell you your options. That's what a smart man told me a long time ago. And it seemed like Microsoft is giving consumers more options, and it's appearing that they're going to be more consumer friendly going forward in the future, if you really think about it. Now, remove all the fanboyism and, oh, I'm only Sony, oh, I'm only Microsoft, and well, then you're going to lose out. Because if you're a gamer, you're going to play where the games are. You're going to play on every platform. I've been fortunate enough to own the Xbox Series X and the PS5. I got the PS5 this year. I wasn't able to get it when it launched. I was able to get the Xbox Series X, I believe, 2 weeks after it launched. And even though I had to pay scalping fees, let's call it what it is, because you can't get this thing in the store at the time when I got it, I feel like it was worth the cost. But now it's like, you know, the games, the studios. Xbox have the most powerful console. We know that. They had the most powerful console last generation. We knew that. But where Sony was able to hang their hat on was the exclusive games, the single player games, the games that people wanted to play, the games that people gravitated towards. And while we know that there are games that Sony is currently working on that we are looking forward to, we don't know when they're coming. And we don't have no catalog of games that we can constantly go back and play, or even games that are coming out as of recent that are going to be new that we can play immediately, that comes with the subscription service of the PlayStation Plus. So I think Sony's going to have to, at some point in time, offer Sony exclusive games to be free to play day one if you are a PlayStation Plus member. If you're playing on the Sony console and you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, like Microsoft's Game Pass, their exclusive games, they at some point in time they're going to have to bite the bullet, I believe, and give those games to Sony players for free, like Microsoft is giving their players their exclusive games day one. It's free if you are a Game Pass subscriber. I think that's the direction Sony's going to have to go into. Regardless of how much money they're going to lose, like when we get The Last of Us 3, when we get the God of War Ragnarok, Sony more than likely is going to have to give that to their PlayStation Plus subscribers or members, whatever you want to call them, if you're going to be able to compete with what Microsoft is offering, because the value is what's going to sway people at this point in time, especially the fact that we're in still this pandemic. Folks are home. Most people are working from home. A lot of people are still unemployed here in America. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of opportunity for gaming to take place. And who wants to pay $60 for a single game, and then once you beat it, you're done with it, when you can pay, let's say, $60 for the year, and you'll get Xbox Live, you'll get Xbox Game Pass in that, and you'll get access to hundreds of games. Like, you can't beat that at all. And Sony is not offering anything like that. Now listen, I'm not saying throw Sony out the window with the baby in the bathwater. I'm not saying that. I'm not jumping off that kind of cliff yet. I'm not saying we need to start panicking and losing our minds. But this is a concern going forward in the future for Sony. This should be a concern. This should be a concern for also the consumers that only play on the Sony console. You need to start questioning and demanding things now. Because just giving me a game or two a month, especially old games, I don't think that's going to be able to cut it like it's been cutting it. That's just my personal opinion. I know people may feel different. Some people might be, it's cool, it doesn't bother me as much. That shit bothers me now. Because I know and I see what Xbox is giving because I can experience it. But see, then again, I'm more of a single player type guy. So I don't play a lot of multiplayer games. I dibble and dab in, you know what I mean? I dibble and dab in a couple of multiplayer games. But I'm more of a single player guy. I like to play games alone by myself. I don't want nobody talking in my ear. That's just me. You know what I mean? Like sometimes if my friends are online and I game with them, they probably be playing another game and I'm playing another game, and we just might want to just be in the chat. You know, we might just want to talk. Like my coworkers, we might just want to talk and just to talk. And we're both playing two different games and we're just chatting. But I'm normally not a multiplayer gamer. I'm more of a single player gamer. And that's why most of the time, especially last generation, Sony was where I was at most of the time. I spent a lot of money with Sony. I spent a lot of money with Microsoft too. I spent a lot of money with Microsoft this generation as well. And I've also spent a lot of money with Sony this generation as well. I'm well in at the over $2,000 mark spent with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, along with accessories, games. I'm already at I believe I'm over the $2,000 mark spent just to set me up for this generation, so that I don't need anything else. Now all I need is the games. So this is going to be very interesting going forward now.